The current world record for the most amount of world records driven in 1 hour in Trackmania's random map challenge is 9. To me, that seems like a very low number, because when I play random map challenge against author times, I'm typically able to get over 30. And so I thought, how much more difficult is it really if you change the setting from author medals to world records? Over the past couple of days, I've been grinding this challenge, and after a lot of effort, I'm ready to present my best run in this format. Let's get into it. So here we are at the start of the run, and a couple of things out of the way. We have 1 hour to beat as many world records as we can. We are not allowed to watch the world records on the list on the left. That would immediately invalidate your run. You have 1 free skip at your disposal throughout the run, so if you find a map that you consider impossible, you can free skip it. And also, if you beat the author medal, you're allowed to skip the track and go to the next one, but you do not, of course, get a point for beating a world record. In this challenge, you're looking for maps that are very rarely played. The less players, typically the better, but you should also note that if a map has very few players, there might be a reason for it. Either it being a recent creation, or it being a very difficult creation, or just something people don't want to play, like a random downhill map or something like that. So it's a mixed bag. You're really hoping to pull something good out of it. And I'm starting on a map with just 14 players called Candy Pink. World record 36 seconds. My first one was a 38. And I was scanning around to see if I missed any shortcuts because there were only 3 checkpoints. And sure enough, I got an idea immediately on the wood. Try to slow down and drive a bit on the dirt so that I get more speed onto the wood, because on wood the car accelerates very poorly. I get to the checkpoint and I see minus 1.5, so that skip does indeed save time, but it didn't save enough to beat Jan Schwartz. And now I really started thinking, okay, he could have had a very good run with the same strats, or he could have added something more. And that something more would be a jump from the grass hill up to the dirt road. And on my first attempt there, that surely did look possible. So now I just had to land it cleanly. It has taken me many attempts to figure out this jump. I'm restarting over and over again, and the clock is ticking. We've already been on the map for 4 minutes, but to beat TV King's record, we'd need to average 1 world record every 6 minutes or so. When I did the 100 world records challenge, that took me, I think, around 16 hours, which maybe equates to something like that, but I also had the luxury of watching ghosts, of skipping maps I didn't like. In random map challenge, world record format, you do just have to play what you're handed. And finally, after 4 minutes and 20 seconds, I do get a good start. I look at the split. We have minus 2.4, which means good end will beat Jan, but I crashed the wall. I set up for full speeding past the pillars, and I get it by 6 thousandths of a second, so I can go to the next map. Instantly, I'm looking top left, I see the name. It's ULC 60, and ULC I recognize. It's a fast learning competition called the Ultimate Learning Competition, and this map is by the host Aura. So immediately I'm thinking, there's a chance that this map was only played in a very quick fast learn format and that no one else touched it since. That would be a blessing for me, because that would make the records rather easy to beat. But when I look at the record list, guys, I see a lot of close players and Grenady 1 second ahead. And I am not sure if he got that run during the competition or if he played this one at some point after. But this map is very recent. It's only, 20 days ago at the time of recording this, so I figure it has to be during the competition. I'm looking at the end to see this risky water bounce idea, and it does not work. If you full speed that jump, it does not work at all. I get a no respawn timer of 36. Let me tell you guys, this track was not at all easy. I am now 6 minutes into this one, and I already felt like spending 4 minutes on the previous was a lot of time. And I am still just respawning. My personal best, still 50 seconds. But I'm mostly just looking at the copium timer, and I'm trying to farm a really fast no respawn run just to get something to measure with. Yeah, getting this first ramp skip and then the next one here to the checkpoint. Getting this getting this first ramp. Getting this first ramp landing and then the next one to the The main idea is to skip from this ramp and up to the checkpoint with a jump so you can land in a drift. And again, I'm doing a couple of respawns to get this one. And now I can finally start to look at what the timer would be if I get such a run. Pretty much had every part cleanly. And with the water bounce, this one would be around 31 flat. Although, jumping in the middle here basically doesn't work. So, I realize I have to go to the left of the arrow and that I have to get all of that in one run. And the timer is still ticking. And I do want my editor to see if they can find out how long Grenadi needed for his run, because if he did that in just 3 attempts, I am blown away. Just completely blown away.
I'm gonna try to improve though. Yeah. Okay, that is fastest time. Monka.
10 minutes and 40 seconds into playing this track, guys, and finally, I had a breakthrough. I was able to get an inside line here, keep a lot of speed, clip a little bit of these ridges to get enough speed to get across here cleanly, then this jump up cleanly, although that was pixels from failing. Inside line for this turn. Set up left for the water, and then slow down, and it almost goes wrong. I get a Beyblade into the finish, 31.99, and we skip to the next one. So I've now spent 16 minutes for 2 world records, and projected pace should have me at about 13 minutes for those 2, so I'm a little behind. And I see a map for Illankupi. This is a Finnish Trackmania competition where they play the maps fast learn as well, actually. They don't spend a lot of time on each track. And even the mappers don't spend a lot of time for their author times. So, author time should be easy to beat and world record. But then I look closely on the record list and I noticed that Patala and Hugo are 2 Swedish players. And they seem to have battled for the world record because they're way ahead of everyone else. I am looking at the first couple of lines and I saw a bug slide, I saw this sharp 180 turn into the dirt, and I thought it was outside into the finish. It always feels very discouraging when you do your first run with a respawn timer and you see that, damn, this is going to be hard. But I did notice a time save there on the grass, driving normal instead of bug sliding. I thought maybe with a better dirt uphill, with a better bug slide over the grass here, we could bring that respawn timer down. I also wanted to see here if no bug slide was faster than bug sliding. Round the corner. Get airtime into the dirt though, that surprised me, and it just has to be inside line. No point in getting speed when the finish line is that close, and now I drove a 46.5. Still 2 seconds behind, so yeah, kind of considering skipping here and just taking the author medal. 2 seconds feels like a lot. I am gonna go back to the bug slide idea first though, up the hill, and I also thought outside dirt didn't matter too much because didn't need the speed. Bug slide clearly faster, and into the finish even slightly better, minus 1.3, just 2 tenths away. So where can I find 2 tenths of a second? Like, throughout the run, maybe I have... Ooh. Hold on. Hold on. Here I thought about something. I thought, is there a world where we just jump down to the checkpoint directly because the ending is close and because we have low speed anyway into the dirt? Maybe an idea, and so play a bit safely, get to the shortcut, and then do it. So jumping a bit wider than my PB, setting up for a lot of speed out of the bug slide, and then aiming for the triangle. I get through, inside line down the dirt, minus 1.3 seconds on the checkpoint, inside line to the finish, and a third world record in 24 minutes of play. And we go to a map called Ethan's Track. Here I thought this is something that you only name a track if it's like built by your child. Like it's the dad naming it Ethan's Track, typing it out for him or something. I also noticed 23 players, and I notice quite big gaps in the records. That's typically a good sign, but it can also mean shortcuts when you see big gaps. So either it means not a lot of people have hunted and there are therefore big gaps, or someone has found something silly that gains a lot of time and it's a bit volatile. But the map looks very basic on a first playthrough, and I noticed my pace as well is close enough that I don't think the records have a shortcut. We're going up to the ending now, and I notice, okay, if I get a full speed turn here, I can beat it. I do a tiny release tap though, because I was starting to go very wide. I see minus 20 with 8 more speed, and I need minus 0.3 to the finish line. And I miss it by 200ths. What a waste of time. Could have saved another 40 seconds here on the overall pace had I gotten that. But I'm not too concerned, and now I'm thinking, you know, if I get this within 2 minutes, 4 world records in the first 30 minutes of the run is not that bad. It started out terribly, but, you know, luck can swing both ways. You can have a couple of very slow maps and some very fast ones, and that can be just as good as consistent pace. So I do have another run here. I'm minus 0.4 into the last corner, and I get it better with more speed, so no doubt this is going to be it. And that is the 4th record of the run. We go into the 5th map now, speed mapping campaign number 18. I notice low player count, I notice some gaps in the records, and I'm seeing boosters and dirt. My first attempt I actually tried to no spug because I thought, oh, this kind of gives the setup for it. And I'm again looking at this idea, like, could I no spug here? I get a bug slide and I see 9.8 as I restart. World record 904. So I think you have to bug slide early. So I set up immediately for a bug slide. I get a tick of it on the first booster. And straight into the finish. 32 seconds and world record number 5. And then we go to a map called First Full Track. Now let me tell you guys, this type of track is the ideal one to get for this challenge. You want a map that not a lot of people have played because maybe it's not that interesting, and one that is very drivable because, you know, even if you get a map that isn't interesting, but it's like desert car, underwater, something crazy, then you're not going to beat it fast. But here it's just normal blocks and only 25 people have played it. I'm thinking this is going to propel me into having a lot of pace in this run. Still though, it is a bit unclear how to handle all these parts, like wet grass here. Do you bug slide or do you just drive? In my first run through, I just drive. We get onto some plastic road. I'm also thinking about, are there any shortcuts? I mean, I see the finishes are closer to the side here, so I jump in. But it's a 105. 6 seconds behind the record, so first I'm looking at alternate checkpoint orders, seeing which checkpoints are close together and how they can combine. But I noticed that the last one and the ring are the only ones that connect to the plastic road and the finishes, so if you change the order, you wouldn't be able to get to the finishes, so can't do that. But I did spot one other shortcut, and I thought this is very likely what Extreme Salty and HeroBot used, and we're gonna see whether or not that's the case. So after checkpoint 1, I thought it would be possible to just go immediately to the right, skipping the first dirt turn, and going straight to the second checkpoint. It is faster, and it is faster by 6 seconds, which lines up pretty well with my pace, so I thought this would be it. I was a bit bummed here that I got very low speed out of the ice. I jump way too far, I have low speed, and I jump off too early. Didn't beat it here. could have been, you know, perfect efficiency, just like 2 runs on this. Instead, it is going to be more, maybe 3, maybe 4. So we do it all again, trying to notice any improvements. So last time I went between the trees and that felt a bit risky, so I go up the road more now for staying on the speedy road longer, and it's a bit faster. Also here, releasing at the end of the ice to drive down the hill, giving more speed for the jump, trying to jump more to the right into the water pool to exit sooner. And then I also have a better angle here now to bug slide. Tap, 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 bug slide on the grass, and it's quite fast. We're 8 seconds ahead. And then release to land in the plastic downhill, carry a lot of speed to the finish, and 57 seconds. And a 6th world record of the run. With half an hour left, guys. This is going really well. And I get another map, only played by 50 people. And it looks normal. And these are things I like to see. We're having dirt and plastic. So things are shaping up, absolutely. We have a grass part here, some slalom. Back down to plastic. Then a bit of road. And into a very long dirt corner. I go up on the outside. Try to speed slide. And then I'm seeing up ahead, I'm seeing the road, the corners. And it's a pretty good first run already. Pretty good discovery run of 41.8. Now, 1 second more to go. I started thinking like, that is pretty far. And a lot about Random Map Challenge feels like it's psychology. Like you're playing these tracks, and for a lot of them, you have to keep a very open mindset about them. Even if you don't like the track, even if, you know, you'd rather play something else, like it's, yeah, this is the map I was given. How do I drive this optimally? So now I'm trying to more or less full speed the end. And you can see I'm gaining a bunch of time. 40.7. Still 0.3 to go. And, you know, I'd be very happy with this run. I feel like I'd play the map now, but I still have to beat the time. And so what more can I find? Can I add to get a bit more pace? I noticed that if I released a bit in the no slide in the start, I could delay the gear shift up to 4th until after the turn. And that would let you accelerate a lot more into the next turn. So that is what I was experimenting with. Not fully getting it here. Also trying to jump up high on the plastic to then have a smooth line down. With a lot of speed onto the grass. And it's also a thing of like, I had done so many runs of this challenge earlier, and I'd gotten to like 5 medals, and then hit a roadblock with some impossible khaki track. And then I do another one, get to 4 medals, and then hit another impossible track. And it's just also, after a long session of playing, realizing that this could be the run. You actually have to sit up, lock in, and not squander opportunities. Like, I'm crashing here, what if I need that time on the next track? You cannot rest too easy. You gotta stay focused. So I'm now getting the release no slide line a lot better. 0.2 out of the start ahead already, with plenty more to gain in this part, but not so much in the end. So here I had a very shaky run. 0.35 ahead, that's exactly what I need. So I need to remain equal with my PB from here on out. 0.46 ahead into the slalom, and I release at the exit, which is the worst place to release. It's 42, jump into the finish. 600ths to the good. And we get a 7th world record of the run. Now I roll hard reactor number 15. I see Juntao in the leaderboards, who, if you don't know, is a godlike reactor player. I see the finish on a faraway mountain. It's reactor down. It's a hard author medal. I instantly use my free skip. My one free skip up the run, I'm not gonna spend 10 minutes on that just to get an author medal. I go next. Like, that track looked diabolical. And so now, if we get another really hard track, well, we're basically soft locked, because in regular random map challenge, when you have to beat gold, typically you're fine using the free skip. Like, you can at the very least get gold a lot of places. But here, it's Ultra Medal, it's stricter, and we're now on Fablol 618. I noticed great players on the leaderboard here. Diskeet, Tack, and Matt Lightning, so I'm thinking this is rather hunted for only having 80 players. And I did some scouting. I looked at the finishes and I saw that with a lot of speed, you can get to the low finish here directly. And I see that this is only a 20.7, and I elect to skip. And after the skip, what do we see? Rally car. But also, if you look at the leaderboard here, it just so happens to be TV King that has the world record number of world records in 1 hour, that also has this world record. I'm not immediately discouraged, because rally car is often quite good on keyboard if you can drive an action key 2, which you can for the most part of this map. That lets you have full grip, and so my first run through was already 25 seconds, pretty close to author time. And I'm trying in my head when I drive to calculate, how much time do I think I roughly lost throughout? And 23.4 feels a bit doable to me. Like, I get a better run immediately, and up to the finish line, this is going to be author time, and just less than a second to go. And I did have some places the car slid, and maybe some places where I could optimize for more speed, so not immediately skipping this yet, but it is in the back of my mind that maybe I should. So I do want to first check here what a good run would be, and I get one that gets a very good start, 2300s ahead with 12 more speed. I have to release a bit in the end, so I am adding that into my calculation, but it's only a 2407, still 0.6 to go. The only place I can see myself feasibly gaining is this turn towards the finish. And with an alright final turn, I see it's only a 23.7. The decision is easy, the records are strong. I'm skipping. And what awaits me, guys, is Desert Car Underwater, played by one person, which is the mapper himself, Shibridra. And if you look up this mapper on Trackmania Exchange, he, for the most part, builds tracks like this. Troll maps with insane ideas and insane tricks that are very hard to beat in random map challenge. Now, I already know from having seen runs of this before that Desert Car over anti-boost, if you wobble the car, you can reduce the amount of speed loss you get. So if I just press forward, it wouldn't work, but if I wobble, I get across to the platform. Then we have Stadium Car, plastic, wet tires, and I'm thinking it has to be a bug slide, because if you try to drive normally to reach down the hill, you're not fast enough whatsoever. I'm gonna save you guys a lot of the suffering, but I have now played this map for over 10 minutes more without understanding a single thing. I'm trying to wiggle the car on the booster in the uphill. I'm not getting enough speed. I am nowhere close to making the end part. It's just all despair. And then finally, guys, after 13 minutes on the map, I noticed something. You need the car to slide. I don't know why it is this way. If you steer enough to the point that the car starts skidding, sliding, while you're wiggling up the boost, it not only reduces how much speed you lose from the anti-boost, it actually speeds you up. Maybe the game somehow thinks you're backwards. And the crazy thing is that immediately after discovering that, I now make it to the end road. The finish is still quite a far jump away, but it has to be the same mechanic for the second part. And it seems rather consistent, actually, as long as you get the car to slide. So I'm into the bug slide. I have 160 speed there instead of 130. I get another slide, and finally I beat the auto level, and I can leave the map. I can leave the map. But what if I get to another track where I have to spend many minutes learning it? Surely there's a way I gain 0.1 here and beat Chibridra, and I get another point for all of this effort. And 2 runs later, I get a much better start. Wobble wobble. Another one. And it is enough. And that is a decision I'm very happy with, because who knows what type of map we would have rolled, right? Could have just skipped out of frustration, but even after getting through it technically, I was able to also beat the world record. 8 world records in, the world record number is 9, and I have 6 minutes to get one more to tie it. I, at this point, did not know how many author medals TV King had in that record, and if I was behind it or not. But I basically thought skipping now feels incredibly risky. I have to go for what seems like a normal drivable map. This is as good a chance as any. I get a 29.4 no respawn timer on my first run, so I'm still missing a bit of pace. And I realized that it very likely has to be outside line here for the speed up the hill. It's not that easy to aim that drift because you can't really see the point you're aiming for as you tap brake. So I need a couple attempts here to get a good feeling for it. Driving it a bit safe just to see how that affects this line. I get this with more speed now. Into the ending, you have this part that's pretty precarious because as you see, I'm almost losing grip there. Jump into the finish, and this is a 27.705, 27 hundredths to go to beat Jack TM and tie the number of world records that TV King has. Here I'm full setting again, minus 16. I try to go a bit wide so I have grip. Low line to the checkpoint, close on the left side, jump close to the right side finish. It's a 0.59 only. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to gain 16 more hundredths. I feel like it's doable. I just know that when I'm stressed, I play worse. And so I don't have a lot of chances here. I have to make the most of it. I get a beautiful start though, minus 12 more hundredths. Early neo slide to guarantee the drift. Try to keep full grip with all 4 tires. This could be it. Inside jump to the finish. By 7 thousandths of a second. I beat Jack, and I'm now at 9 world records and 2 author medals as we go to simple AO8 14. And what the hell is this? I am very glad that I didn't author skip the previous map because world record on this would likely be impossible. And like I said, I don't know how many author medals TV King had. Go again, I have 1 minute left. Release a lot. Try to reduce speed, that looks good. Bounce upside down. And just barely by 2 hundredths, I get another author time. Now we're at 9 world records, 3 authors, and I roll a good map. Under 15 seconds. But I also notice immediately that all 5 players in the top 5 are players that are of Division 1 level, so this map is a lot more hunted than any of the other ones I've beaten in the run so far. But the author time is a bit behind, so maybe, you know, 45 seconds, maybe there's a chance I get something little extra to top it off. 22 seconds left, the last run. Will I get one more author, one more record? We shall see. I go onto the pipe. Drift more this time, but I misjudge it again. I have too much speed, and I missed the finish. And the final score I get is 9 world records and 3 author medals as the time expires. And to my great joy, I beat TV King by 2 author medals. We technically have the same number of world records, but the tiebreaker goes to me. So as it stands, I now have the world record number of world records in the Random Map Challenge 2026 standard category. And I invite more people to play it. It's a lot of fun. Really hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Maybe we can beat this record in the future as well, if you guys want to see more attempts at it. But for now, bye bye.